what the heck is going on in the power market?
Well, really, it's a question of the severity of the cold weather conditions, which have caused numerous power plant outages beginning early Monday morning and really right through to this morning. A significant amount of capacity remains offline.
Yeah, and of course the blame game is going around, and some people are saying, well, look, the turbines are frozen. The reality, as all the data starts to come out, is that it looks like, unfortunately, Texas just didn't plan well for the cold. And apparently some of the meteorological, the weather estimates were so far off that there was no ramp up to prepare for this kind of demand far above the highest estimates, by some cases 2- and 3-fold. And a lot of wells are simply frozen shut. It's really just the entire infrastructure got caught off guard. Did it not, Morris?
Yes, and the reason is that the conditions are so unusual that the system really wasn't designed to withstand them. And that can change. There will have to be investments made to weatherize the facilities and prevent this from happening again in the future. And I believe that the Texas legislature will be addressing that issue along with an investigation of exactly what happened this week.
What kind of legislative remedy for the future do you think might there be, Morris? Because I showed our audience yesterday that in 1990, kind of a similar thing happened, and they were screaming about changes, and that was 30 years ago.
It would probably be in the form of more stringent regulation on power plant preparedness for extreme weather conditions. The transmission system operator, ERCOT, answers to the Texas Public Utility Commission, and that Public Utility Commission, of course, is accountable to the legislature. So the Texas PUC would then get involved in framing these new rules, and ERCOT would have to decide about how to implement them.
A lot of criticism has been labeled to the fact that ERCOT, which is, despite the unwieldy name, is its own power grid. Texas, the only state that really has its own power grid infrastructure on a very... I've learned how complicated this market is the last 24 hours. So if I say something wrong, Morris, you'll forgive me.
No.
And people say, well, there you go. You know, they really can't buy power from other states like pretty much every other state can, or these other grids can. Do you think ultimately ERCOT will sort of surrender its position as the lone wolf in the Lone Star State?
I think that's fairly unlikely. I think that the Texas likes to be independent of the federal regulation. And even if the capacity to import more energy had been available to them, the markets in neighboring regions have also been affected by these cold conditions and are also very tight.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.